I didn't only Hellcat swap a vehicle on my own right here. I also did the research to find out how much it would cost to Hellcat swap a variety of vehicles. But of course, it does make sense that we should start off with how much did it cost to Hellcat swap this. So this is a 2004 Honda Accord that was originally a front-wheel drive V6. And even though a lot of people claim that there's no way you can fit it under this hood right here, let's keep in mind, there was a V6 under here at one point in time, and there was still some room in here. It's not like it was tightly packed in this hood. Of course, some custom work would be necessary to make that happen, but let's start talking numbers. I didn't just buy a Hellcat engine or a Hellcat transmission separately. I bought a wrecked Hellcat for around $20,000, and I already know what you're thinking. How do you find a wrecked Hellcat for $20K that you can take parts from for something like this? And I didn't just take the engine. I don't remember everything I took, but eventually I had to use that to put the transmission and like the drivetrain and the axles and all the extra stuff. At first, I took even more money just to keep it front wheel drive for a few days. That broke and didn't last long. Now it's all wheel drive, so let's not even talk about the front wheel drive mess. So yeah, the wrecked Hellcat was $20,000, and at the time, a pretty decent deal. And nowadays, a really good deal. So if you can find a wrecked Hellcat that has a running engine and working transmission, dude, you better take that, because I think like just the engine itself is going for what, like at least 10-15K, you know, bare minimum. I feel like it's even more now because they're about to get discontinued. There's no way they're like staying that low. But here's another thing you have to think about when you're swapping any vehicle is the cost of labor. Unless you're gonna do every little piece of work yourself, a lot of you probably don't have the tools or experience or knowledge to do so, which I didn't have any of that, so I had to pay for someone to do it for me. In total, the labor was around, I think, $20,000 or so. Like I said, it was some custom work. It was a lot to do, and I think in total for this whole Hellcat swap, before all the upgrades, because this has been upgraded a lot with very expensive forged carbon fiber. Okay, I'm not even gonna. Of course, there was some cosmetic mods, but I'm talking about the engine. The engine is not stock. This Hellcat engine has been modded to make over 1,000 horsepower, and before all of that, this was like $50,000, like just to get it driving on the road, front-wheel drive Hellcat swap until it broke. Then after that, it cost probably around like 100K in total after all the upgrades, because I did a lot to it. But let's talk about how much it costs to Hellcat swap your vehicle. Let's say you have a vehicle like this, okay? Something that is not really meant to, you know, be a performance vehicle. Something that is like front-wheel drive. You're gonna have to make it rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, whatever you want to do. You're gonna be looking around a similar price range, okay? Probably around 50K, I'm not gonna lie. But let's say you have a Chrysler 300, you already know it's going to be cheaper because first off, the engine bay is bigger, so you don't need to do custom work to get the engine in. Already rear-wheel drive, like especially if you have like one of the Hemi ones that comes stock with just like a 5.7, or I think there's even some that comes like the Scat Pack engine. If you want to swap that, that'll be really easy. But for a car that doesn't need heavy custom work and might not even need to be converted to rear-wheel drive, 20 to 30K. Now, like I said, it does vary on like the specific vehicle you have, the work you do, and the methods you go to get that work done, and the parts you get. Like if you go out and buy a crate Hellcat engine, that's gonna be way more expensive than buying a wrecked Hellcat engine. I mean, not a wrecked Hellcat engine, a wrecked Hellcat, and just taking the engine from that and dropping it in the car. Who knows, you could probably get it done for even cheaper. I'm not even gonna lie. What do you think? Do you know anything about Hellcat swaps? Let me in the comments how much you think it would cost, and if you ever Hellcat swapped anything, definitely let me know how much it costs in the comments down below. But I mean, hey, you've been eyeballing this car, you want to see in action, I know, so go ahead, just click the video on the screen right now. You can go see it in action.